Hey there, Richard Matharoo here. So right now, are you having a little bit of difficulty being able to close more home business leads? That's take people who have some kind of interest and then actually sponsor them into your network marketing team. I got a proven, tried and tested script that I can teach you. It's allowed me to close up to 90% of the people I've ever put in front of my network marketing business. I'll teach you it in its entirety and for free in a second. I'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. So I just want to get straight to it. This is a really powerful process for you to use. And if you only ever learn this one process, it's all you'll ever need to close as many people as you wish to. It really is that good. So let's just get started, right? So there's two parts to this. There's a section of about 3 or 4 questions that you use before the presentation, whether that's a webinar, you're there face to face, it's an online funnel, doesn't really matter. And then there's one particular sort of script that I can teach you as a backup to use after the presentation. Again, online or offline. You put these two together and you'll be one of the best at closing, for sure. I don't do, I was going to say razzmatazz, I mean hype. I don't do hype, right? I don't know where that came from. So part 1, the pre-presentation questions, okay? I would advise you to take notes on this. So what you want to do first of all is after the invitation, you have a go-to invitation, right? You know, do you keep your options at all open to extra income? If I could show you a way to make money around what you're currently doing, if I could show you a way to lose 13 pounds in the next 12 weeks, you know, you have some kind of script. And again, even if this is online where you're asking for their email, at the point where they say yes, so they said, yeah, I want some info, or they've entered their email or whatever, you want to ask them why. Everybody overlooks this, and I know why, right? It's because you've got one. You said yes? When I started, I was 50 grand in debt. I had 328 no's in a row. So when someone said yes, I was like, I'm going to have a stroke. Okay, just play it cool, Richard. I get it. But you got to be professional if you want to help people and build your business. So chill out, take a breath and go, I'm just curious. Why are you keeping your options open to extra income? Or why do you want to lose 13 pounds in the next 12 weeks? And then leave a silence. And you can do this on a little video if you want to do this online, right? Because the reason we do this, you know why it's so clever and powerful? Because it's so much more powerful for them to tell you the reasons why they want to do this, as opposed to you tell them reasons why you think they should do it. It could be the same information, but let me highlight to you in this way. Imagine you have a friend who's overweight and you're concerned about their health and you want to help them get back in shape. You mean well. So you ask them, hey, I got this supplement. If it could teach you how to get, lose 13 pounds in 12 weeks, would you want to take a look at it? And they go, yes. And you say, just curious, why? And they go, well, you know what? My clothes are getting really tight. They don't fit me that well. You know, I'm feeling really uncomfortable. I lost that spring in my step. I look and feel fat. Okay. Now, those are good reasons and that's motivation for them. They're already halfway into your team, right? Now, imagine if you said the same thing. Hey, Johnny, I noticed you're looking fat these days and you look like you lost a spring in your step and your clothes don't fit you that well. We need to improve your health, right? So do you want to take my supplement? It's insulting, right? It's insulting. And you could be right. But the thing is, you're not going to get rich that way. You're not going to help them lose their weight that way because you're not going to turn on people if you approach them that way. You've got to respect, basic human behavior, right? So we ask them why. We get them already thinking about, I should do this, right? After that, that's question number 1. Second question you want to ask them is you want to say, hey, I love asking people this question. This is what you want to say. I love asking people this question. It's a bit of fun. If I could give you a magic wand, and you could wave this magic wand, it'd be like winning the lottery. You'd have all the time, all the money in the world. What would you do? What would your day-to-day life be like? What car would you drive? Where would you live? Where would you go? Would you give to charity? What would you do? And just let them kind of dream a little bit. And you'll see people get really into this, like, oh, wow, if I had the money, I'd have a nice car. You go, what car? Oh, it'd be a Ferrari. What Ferrari? Oh, it'd be this Ferrari. And I'd live here. Why would you live there? I've always wanted to travel. Get them in the zone of, telling you the life they really want. And then I ask them another question. This is very sobering and powerful. Again, this is the 3rd question. You say, hey, again, I actually use just curious a lot. I'm just curious. So what have you got going on concrete in your life right now that will ever get you to that dream life? It's like, oh, and they like crash back down to earth and they're like, man, this is where I am. This is where I want to be. There's no bridge. right? They're like, oh man, and they're like, I don't really have anything that will allow me to do that. And you say, you know what? I'm actually glad about that in a way, because what I'm going to show you, I've seen people and I know people who do, and then whatever they said their dream life was, only if it's truthful. So you're likely to see success stories in your company where they've lost a lot of weight, got their health back. You'll know single mums who, you know, managed to leave a day job. You'll know people who are earning 7 or 8 figures, right? You'll have these stories. You should do, if you're a professional, you should learn 5 or 10 of your success stories. So you'll be able to say truthfully, I know people who are living that life. So I guess we have a decision to make. Either we're going to give up on that and accept it will never be a reality, or perhaps we can try something that will at least give you the chance of achieving that. And I really believe that what I'm about to show you is that chance. So I'm glad we're going to take a look, and then click, we play the presentation, or we go into our slides, or that can be an edited segment on the front of your online video funnel, right? Doesn't matter where you use it, so long as you use it. So I'll teach you that post-presentation script in a second, but what this segment has done, these questions, they've allowed you to greatly minimize any objection, because now they're looking for ways that they can do this. They were the one that said they're keeping their options open because of this, this, and this. They were the one that told you their dream life that they really hope they could get to someday. And they're the one that said, and I'll never get there without this, what you're about to show me. It's a powerful position for you to put them in and you in, and it's going to help the both of you. So let's say we showed them the presentation and they're kind of a procrastinator, or they're just nervous, and they're kind of umming and ahhing. So they say, any objection. The reason I like this script is you don't have to learn different responses to money or time or whatever. They say, hey Richard, I love the presentation, but, there's always a but, right? But, you know, I'm not sure if I've got the time, right? I don't know if I got the time to do this. It's quite a common one, right? You say, okay, I always agree. I totally understand. It's important you feel you've got the time to do this. Just let me ask you this. If you did have the time, if you knew you had the time to do this, would you be signing up with me right now, or is this just a polite way to say no? Either's fine, you can be totally honest. You want to open the door for them, because what you can't do with any script, with any questions, is take someone who is dead against joining you and force them to join you. Even if I could teach you that, I wouldn't want to, because it's not ethical. This is all about taking that little spark of interest and fanning it and turning it into a flame, and they're like, yes, I want to do this. So they already are looking to do this. If you have someone and they don't want to join you, you don't want them on your team, they'll be a nightmare, they'll drive you crazy, they'll be negative, they'll spoil everything. It's a bad apple. And they'll not like you for it, they'll not trust you for it. So don't do that. They might say, yeah, actually, I'm not really interested. Great, you say, cool, well listen, who do you know that would be interested in this? Right? You can see there's no pressure here. I promise you, I give you my word, I'll show them the exact same way that I just showed you. So can you give me 2 names of people who would want to lose weight, keep their options open, generate an extra 1,000 a month? They'll thank you for it and I'll look after them. And I kind of pen and paper, and they usually give you 2 names. So now you never struggle for appointments, because every no, you get 2 more appointments from that no. It's a cool bit of extra info for you there for generating the leads. But in terms of closing them, most people, when you ask them, hey, is it a polite way to say no? They'll go, oh, no, yeah, if I had the time, yeah, I'd sign up. And you go, okay, great. Let's think about this in another way, if that's okay with you. And they say yes. You want them to keep saying yes. They go, yes, sure. I go, okay, who's your best friend? And they're going to give you a name. Let's say it's Johnny. Johnny's my best friend. Okay, so and they always have their phone on the table, right? Or you have your phone on the table. Or even if it's on video, you can just say, think about if your phone rang right now and it's Johnny. Imagine seeing the phone and they're in there with you, right? And they go, okay. Now, Johnny says this to you. He says, hey, Richard, I'm in a situation here. I'd love your input. Sure, Johnny, fire away. Johnny says, okay, this is the scenario. This is a situation. I've got a choice to make. Worst case scenario, if I do this thing that I'm looking at, I may lose a couple of weeks of a little bit of time here and there, kind of researching, taking a look at something. I don't lose any money. I get all my money back. There's no risk in that department. Best case scenario, this gives me the life of my dreams. All the things I've ever wanted and dreamed of for myself and my family and become as a person, it will enable me to do that. Pretty much like winning the lottery. What would you tell Johnny to do? And you can see they know what you're doing, and they're like, and I'm like, worst case scenario, loses nothing but a few hours of time over the next couple of weeks. Best case scenario, life of their dreams. What's the smart advice to give to Johnny? What would you tell Johnny to do? Honestly, truthfully. And they're always going to say, well, I'd tell him to do it. I say, why? Well, if the only risk is a few hours of his time, and the upside is life of his dreams, it'd be stupid not to do it. I'd say, okay, and what are you going to do right now with the same situation? Now, more often than not, people kind of smirk and they go, okay, let's do it. Now, you can only use that script if there is a 2-week or 3-week or 1 week or whatever it is, insert the number of, 14 days from now, whatever it is that you have in your agreement, insert that in there. But nearly every network marketing company I know of is bound by law, and that one of those laws is a 14-day cooling off period. Make sure that yours has that, but I'm pretty sure that it will, okay? It has to have that to be legal. So when you know that that is there, you can even show them it. I even have it on, if I'm making a video, I even have the contract printed out, or in person. You can say, look, it even says it here, put it up to the camera, like you have 14 days. So there is no risk to you and everything is to gain. What are you going to do? What would you tell Johnny to do? Now, when you combine those two pieces of information I just taught you there, that puts you in the top 5% of closing in our industry. It really does. Most people never bother to ask why. They don't ask any questions before a presentation. When the presentation finishes, they don't know how to handle objections, or they've got 50 different scripts to try and pull out for each and every one. This is one script if you need it, and a few questions to ask before, and when you put them together, I closed up to 90% of people I ever used this on. No joke, no exaggeration. 9 out of 10 times people are like, yeah, come on, let's just do this, right? And it absolutely works. So that's an important piece of the pie, but it is only a piece of the pie, right? You need to be able to generate quality leads to be able to then close them. You also need to be able to do that in a way that you can scale. And I'm just shooting it from the hip here. If you want to be able to build a big business, so if you have any aspirations above 2,000 or 3,000 a month in income, then you need to have a way of generating quality leads on a daily basis, positioning this in front of them so that you only really need to put a little bit of time into this business. Otherwise, you run out of time and patience really, really quick. I can teach you how to do that also. Just like I've taught you how to close here, I can teach you how to do that. And I can teach you how to do that all online as well if you want to. It's called the Predictable Member System. It's a webinar that I created. You can go to richardmatharoo.com/webinar if you want to learn that kind of thing. If you're open to some more education, you want to improve your skill set, I'll teach you that stuff for free. If it's still live, you'll see a link across the screen now. Click that if it's live. You'll be able to go and watch that now for free. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you got some kind of benefit, if this was good training, if you're going to use even a piece of this, I think you'll do really well with it. Stick me a comment or a like. Subscribe if you want more videos like this. And as always, go create a day in a life that counts. Always have more desires than excuses. And I will catch you on that webinar or another video really soon. Bye for now.